usual. And we have Abrishmina Saeed Kadri with us. Hi, Abrishmina.
Hi, Orko. We're so sorry, guys. There was some technical issue because of which we are like super late. So, yeah.
That technical issue can also be called Naveen Peter. But yeah, as we wait for Mr. Peter to join, we're going to keep this short, hopefully between 25 and 30 minutes, not more than that. We're going to discuss India squad at the Asian Cup. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get into it without further ado. Abrishman, do you want to pull up the squad quickly?
Sure.
Also, guys, feel free to ask any questions because, as you said, time is of the essence. So, right here we are. Uh, I I want to say a lot of positive things about the squad, but I'm going to leave that to Abrishmina. Abrishmina, just read out the squad for us very quickly. Goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders.
Okay. So in goalkeepers, we have Amrinder, Gurpreet, and Vishal Kaith. Defenders, Akash Mishra, Lalchung Nunga, Mehtab Singh, Nikhil Pujari, Preetam Kotal, Rahul Bheke, Sandesh Jingan, Subhashish Bose. Midfielders, Anirudh Thapa, Brandon Fernandez, Deepak Tangri, Laling Moya Ralte, Liston Kulaso, Naura Mahesh Singh, Sahal Abdul Samad, Suresh Singh Wangjam, Udanta Singh. Forward, Zishan Pandita, Lalyanzwala Changte, Manveer Singh, uh, Rahul KP, Sunil Chetri, and Vikram Pratap Singh.
Right. Only two uncapped players in the entire squad. Otherwise, it's a pretty what do you say? It's a squad
Experience.
with it's not a lot of experience, I'd say, but eight have played the Asian Cup before, or have rather have taste of Asian Cup experience. Namely Amrinder, Gurpreet. You have Pujari, who was part of the squad last time. You have Kotal, obviously. You have Jingan, you have Bose, you have Thapa.
Mm.
Thapa scored against Thailand, remember,
Yeah.
last time. You have, of course, you have Udanta. Of course, we have
Yeah.
Udanta in the squad, right? Uh, I mean, there is no squad without an Udanta. And you have Manveer and you have Sunil Chhetri. So
Yes.
these are the folks without, right? On time, face green smiling, says Aitya. We're sorry for that. But yeah, now that we heard, we get to it. Naveen, first thoughts on the squad?
Well, I'm not as excited as I was when 2019 came about, but there was other reasons also involved for that because we were back in it after a very long time. Like we missed out on 2015, uh, after 2011. So there was a lot of excitement, and more than that, I was traveling to the UAE for the competition as well. So this time around, it's a very sedated approach, and uh, I don't know if it's just me or even you guys have felt this. There's not been a lot of conversations, a lot of excitement around India going into the Asian Cup. It's been largely quiet. The sporting calendar in the country is as such that you have a lot more to explore. You have a lot more to be engaged with. So football naturally has taken a backseat. It might just be me. I just wanted to know from you if it's just me or if it's that's the largest sentiment. And I don't want. I've seen a few comments where people have come out and said, okay, it's up to the broadcasters, it's up to the EIF to make some noise. That has not happened. But looking largely at the squad, I think this is what Steve March has played with over the past year or so, or a bit more than that through his match. So no surprises as such. But I just wanted to get back to one thing that Orko you put out because from the tweet that you put out a few days back, you are not you do not absolutely agree with the squad that has been named for the competition is what I could gauge. I just wanted to understand the reasoning behind it. But for me, it is more or less the squad that Steve March has played, and these are things that we knew would happen, and these are the players we knew more or less would make the Asian Cup squad, right?
Possibly these are the people who were expected to go to Qatar, are going to Qatar. It doesn't make them the perfect fit. Of course, we know that. I mean, this isn't a one-day process. We've known that
Yeah.
some of these guys have been groomed for this exact moment, but still doesn't make. I mean, and it's not, the complaint is also not new, right? Of course, Simach can't change last minute based on what he's seen in one season or half a season rather. Um, I mean, there are some who are purely riding on what they've done 3 4 seasons ago. That's my main concern, right? There are some who are in terrible form coming into this.
Yep.
There's some who have barely played this season.
Yeah.
Let me remind. So, I mean, all in all, I mean, yeah, we should. I could say it doesn't make any sense to me. But then any squad, you'll have grouse with any squad that's being put
True.
out, I suppose,
Yep.
right? Uh, but my main concern is in the middle of the park.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I think we are super light, right? You have a Thapa, you have a Brandon, you have Apuya there. But Apuya, and for a long time since the constant era, we played a double pivot.
Yep.
Uh, I can, after Apuya, probably the one person who can probably play that position is Suresh and Tangri, right? So you got to choose a double pivot between Apuya, Tangri, and Suresh, right? That is the one thing. Creative outlet, Sahal seems to be injured. From all that we're hearing, it might come back in the third week of uh, Jan, and that's way too late. India might be out of the competition
Yep.
right then. So, and as usual, the goal scoring onus is on our man Sunil, because except Manveer and Changte, none of the folks really have, what do you say, got any goals on the international stage, right? Uh,
Yeah.
Even in the defense, right? Anwar Ali is a big miss. Like he's like, he compensates for a lot of players, right? He not only can he defend really well in his box, not only can he attack, he's also a ball progressor, right? So he kind of makes up for that uh, weak link in midfield that we're talking about, right? He sometimes strides into midfield, sprays, pass around. So
Plus,
you don't see anybody else doing that here, right? Sorry.
yeah. Plus, I also feel like I just had a point to add to what Orko just said about Anwar. When we are playing in a tournament like the Asian Cup against the opponents that we have, I think we definitely needed somebody who was comfortable with the ball at the back because we are going to be attacked a lot.
Right.
So, yeah, I do agree with Orko there that I think Anwar is a big miss.
Absolutely. I think I also agree with what Abhi just said, because there's something that I what wanted the next point of discussion to be is, look at the teams that we are playing here. We are playing Australia, we're playing Syria, and we are playing Uzbekistan. These teams we know position will be at premium for India. There might be a match where you might not get the ball. All you have to do is sit back and defend. So how well can you defend? Anwar is a big miss. Uh, lack of goal scoring options. I think that is not that big a concern because we know we won't have that much ball. So one of counter attack with a Chetri, or probably if Manveer has a good day, he could do his thing. So that is not big of that's not much of a concern for me. But how well we are coping in the defense and in the holding midfield area is something that I wanted to understand from you, Orko. Like with the absence that we have in Anwar and the other players as well.
Well, I think this just calls for a predictive level. Before that, I'm just going to address this. Someone saying Udanta and Chunga are shocking inclusions. I am not. For me, these are not the most shocking inclusions. For me, I think these are well-deserved inclusions. Udanta, obviously, for a lifetime of work, for a decade of work, may not be the best
Mhm.
right now at the moment. But given the fact that he has over 40 matches of international experience, about, if I have to guess, I don't know the exact number, but I guess it would be between 30 and 50, right? Udanta. So, uh, so I guess Udanta is warranted, and Chunga, one of the best defenders that's coming up through the system. Not the fastest, but like we said, Stimach needs that one other guy up opposite Sandesh who can probably play with the ball. and Chunga's your best bet because your Mehtab's not going to do it, right? Your Kotal's not going to do it, right? Even if I play a Rahul Beke there, Rahul Beke is not going to do it well. But you kind of think Chunga won't make the starting 11, right? So let me just put out the predicted 11 first, Naveen, before I answer your question. I
Oh
think
yeah.
it's going to be Gurpreet in goal.
Yep.
I think we go with a 4-3-3, right? Or a modified 4-2-3-1
Yep.
that we're used to playing for donkey's ages now. We have an Akash Mishra, and this is where I think Stimach might actually be smarter than we think because Mishra hasn't had the greatest season. Bose, I think, had a really good game against Qatar, so it could be Bose filling in. And also
Yeah.
keep in mind that Bose has international experience, a lot more international
Oh
experience.
yeah, it does.
Bose is defensively solid, which is what you would require in a obviously, I mean, there's in a minefield group like this.
Yep.
That's the only way for this. Not in the group. It's a minefield. You step anywhere, there are mines. That's Australia, Uzbekistan, and Syria. Right? Syria are not going through the best of times, but still it's Syria. Right? So you have. I think we might see a boss starting the competition. Like, don't obviously hold it against me if Mishra starts. You have a Jingan, obviously there. Um, And this is where the number two, the second defender, becomes very crucial, right? Who gets that shot? Because you have potentially to choose from Chunga, Mehtab, and Kotal. And also keep in mind
Yeah.
that Bheke can also play that centre back position, right? Uh, any other day you would say it's Kotal, but Stimach really hasn't picked Kotal a lot, right? Kotal was one of Constant's favorites, hasn't picked Kotal a lot. Then you have Mehtab, who's been a bit of a hit and miss. And then it comes down to between Chunga and Bheke. You know that Stimash has put in Bheke sometimes in that second position, right?
No, if
So
that's something that we are going with, who Stimach has picked over the past years, it has to be BK, right? Because he's been
Bheke, it has to be Bheke,
it
and it
has
has
to
to
be
be
BK.
Pujari. It has to be Pujari at the right
Right,
back slot.
right.
For Pujari at the right back slot, I agree. I agree with that's a good call because Pujari will always give you a 7 on 10 game. I think that's a given with Pujari. The problem for
And also, I think he's been having
good season.
like really
I
good
mean,
performance
good performance.
recently.
Yeah,
He has put
even though
in
Hyderabad FC
some,
haven't been great, he personally hasn't.
yeah.
Yeah. Then I think here you don't really have a lot of options. I think it's Apuya and Suresh in the double pivot
Yes,
before.
has to be.
Yeah. Then going forward is where it gets slightly tricky because you don't have a lot of options, right? You have to think Sunil starts in the number 10 role,
Yep.
right? And in front of him, you would expect that. I think a Liston might get a nod ahead of Mahesh Naram, even though I'd like to see Mahesh start. But
I'd rather have Mahesh, given the opponents we are playing. These players will have to do a lot of defensive work.
correct,
I do, and I don't know. I do feel like Simach has also preferred Mahesh recently, so he might actually go ahead and
correct.
do
But
the
but
same.
because you're going to get like maybe and maybe I'm this is me overthinking it, right? Because you're going to get maybe 2 or 3 chances only, right, against these teams. You need somebody with that X factor, somebody who's going to essentially break the lock, somebody who has the highest potential. And despite the kind of seasons he's had of late, it's still Liston Kola. So you would think with that biggest X factor out there,
But if that is the case, Liston can be a first change, right? You need not
possibly.
start with him.
Possibly. You have a Liston running at a tired defense.
Yeah.
That also makes sense. So it's between Liston and
I
Mahesh.
think that makes more sense,
Huh.
and also going by how what like Liston has been doing in the recent past, I think that makes more sense
Hmm.
for him to come on as a
Huh.
sub.
On the right, I think it's a no-brainer. It has to be LZ cutting in from the right. Right, he's done so well in the last 2 years, and I mean, with Changte there, I think there is sort of a what do you say reliability that's coming now. You know that Changte is kind of becoming the main man
Yeah,
slowly,
yeah.
right?
The sense of
Obviously,
assurance that comes with him.
yeah. So
Honestly, Des has gone, but I think he has done
he's done
wonders
Yeah.
for
wonders.
Changte.
Yeah, he has.
He's just turned it around for
Yeah.
him. Changte's been so good for the past 2 seasons. I
Uh,
mean, I don't think any of us really saw that coming, like him getting back into this kind of
Yep.
form. But I mean,
hmm.
it's
Staying good.
been great.
Yep.
And then you have to say that it will be Manveer Singh leading the line
No Ishan
for.
Pandita, come on.
Uh, don't get me started. I'm not going to speak on Ishan Pandita today, but only a fool will be predicting. Nobody's predicting
No,
the
no.
win here in this. We're just trying to see what works best for us,
Yeah.
right?
Pride is at stake.
Yeah, but so then having predicted this lineup, there are two possible factors that could force the change in this lineup, right? Uh, one is a Anirudh Thapa. You have to ask where he fits into all of this, right? If should should Stemaz decide that he'd want a Chetri to lead the line, and Thapa's not really a natural number 10. He's not really the most creative. He's not really a pivot also. He's somewhere in between, right? So should you want a go-between player, it'd probably be a Thapa starting ahead of a Suresh. But under Constantine, a Thapa looked a surety to start, right? It looked like he was the next captain material.
Correct.
Whereas Stimac has opted for more workhorses in midfield. He's opted for a Jigson, he's opted
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a Suresh, right? So where does Thapa fit into the scheme of things? You'll have to see. And if Sahal is fit, I think a fit Sahal has to be there just to be a creative difference maker, right? Because right now I can only see that coming through uh, Mahesh probably, right? I can only see, and obviously when Sunil's on the ball, you know that he will try. For example, the goal that the goal of the season that was for Indian football, I think came from Sunil releasing Sahal first time, right on the left. So Sunil's got that X factor, but overall, I think big two problems are that midfield, uh, it's threadbare, right? Especially the central positions, and creativity wise, you have an injured Sahal, you have a Nauram Mahesh, and you have a Liston, and that's it, right? And you might expect some of it from an Apuya, but given the intensity, I think I will have his hands full just dealing with the opposition's midfield.
But then again, the way we're looking at it from a very pragmatic way. Like we know that ball, we won't have much of the ball. We'll have to sit back, let the opposition do whatever they want to do, and then we hope to get the ball and hit on the counter. What if the team is thinking differently? What if the team is like, we are here, we know we just have 3 matches, and let's just put our best foot forward. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you like lose 3-0, if you lose 5-0, or if you lose 3-2. At the end of the day, we're losing, right? So what if the team decides, okay, chuck all the pragmatism and let's go with the best foot forward and play the way that the team has played so far.
I'm not sure. I don't think India's played that way recently. Also, in recently as well, the games that they played it against good teams,
Mm-hmm.
and they did play in this manner itself, where they uh, tried to actually block opponents a bit closer to the half line. Like they at least tried, and I think to an extent they did pretty well there as well, in my opinion at least, that they uh, try to block the opponents halfway through their box, right? And then see whether they can do a take the ball up and do a quick counter. So I think that is how India's played recently as well. So I'm not sure if they are going to go to the Asian Cup and be like we are going to attack. Of
Chuck
course,
plan A and let's do what's best for us.
yeah, I mean, I know that the all the three teams that we are going to face in the group stage are extremely, extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And to be very honest, they would be well aware that chances are going to be like very, very few. And I mean, all India can honestly do. in these matches is try and take the chances, the very few chances that they get, and hope for the best. I mean, that's honestly going to be the mantra. I don't see it
Well,
any
you
Uh,
other
said
way.
hope because that's the
I
first thing I
just
thought. In all
uh,
India will do is sit, hope and pray that something works in
hmm.
their favor.
I just want to address Ishan Bhardwaj's comment here. So we might see India with a variation of the 4-2-3-1 where they play a flat 4-3-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my experience, playing a 4-3-3 at the highest level is much more difficult than playing a 4-2-3-1 because the ones who are playing in the midfield three need to have superior game intelligence there, especially the ones who are playing either side of the middle three, right? They need to absolutely understand their roles, right? Because that's a role which requires a lot of discipline, right? But in that, if you see if India does play flat three, and it's possible that India sacrifice that extra creative figure in the final third for a player who might play closer to their own goal, then you're potentially seeing only one of Manveer or LZ starting on the right. Manveer or Changte start on the right, and then one of Mahesh or Liston start on the left, right? And keep in mind, Udanta will always be in contention for a substitutes appearance there.
Yeah, 47 matches under his belt. This could be the moment where he clocks that.
47 matches, yeah,
Yeah,
47 matches.
47 matches.
That's a bit nuts, but that sums up Indian football in a nutshell very well
Yeah,
if you
very
look
well.
at it. Yeah, we are still at that level where we I wouldn't say we need Udanta's kind of our benchmark player, right? He has a physicality. He doesn't really come with a lot of game intelligence, game breaking creativity in the final third, but and people are shocked if I was to, for example, tell our audience that Mishra, right? Mishra is just a physical beast, right? Somebody might disagree and say, no, look at how he's played. But then look at how Mishra's played against Malaysia, right?
Mhm.
Or in the Asian Champions League. And you'll see that what I'm saying is correct. So
Right.
essentially, Stimac has also packed this team with physical beasts. That's all he has done,
Yeah,
right?
but that's the need of the hour, right? Because you know the kind of
Not
competition
really.
you
Not really. For example, the one guy I would have taken, and it might be a left field pick, I would have taken Isak Ralte because he's just burnt everything up this season. Right? The guy's been in on some crazy level form this season, right? He's he's just waltzed past defenders. He's like chahe foreign defender or chahe Indian defender, he's just taken them on. Right? So I mean, I would have taken him on. India needs creativity against Australia, against Syria, against Uzbekistan. You're not going to get 10 chances. You're going
absolutely.
to get maybe
I
three
also, which
or
is where
two.
I'm sorry, Orko, for cutting you off. Which is where I also feel comes the confidence. That confidence that yes, I am doing well currently, and I can do whatever the hell I want to do at this point in time because I've been doing it. That confidence is not, honestly, it's not been there for most of these people in that sense, if you look at it. So, yeah, I mean, over there, Isaac, I feel, other than that, I mean, I do feel like it's high time that, I mean, it's been, I think, probably 2.5 seasons now that Jerry Moya has also been doing well. So honestly, I have at this point, I just feel bad for him because I don't know what else he needs to do.
And
And then
because there's a lack of midfield options, you've seen the clamor for Puitya
Yeah.
selection. Like he's the Susaraj this time around, right? But speaking of Susairaj, right? Where is that guy? Also, I'm a bit surprised Nanda Kumar didn't make it. Right? I would say that is a name that I kind of expected to be in around, but perhaps I'm not aware of an injury concern, right? But I actually think Nanda's kind of improved over the last couple of seasons, right? So that's one
Yeah, I agree.
that's some
But I
food
think
for thought.
yeah, but then again, I think like we discussed earlier, it's Stima going in with his trusted man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but one of his is it like I said, one of his trusted lieutenants that he's not picked for the squad. Nauram Mahesh Singh. He's had sorry, Nauram Roshan Singh. Roshan, right? He's picked Roshan in a lot of squads. Roshan's not there in the final 26, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's gone with three fullbacks, as is the norm in a squad at 26. He's gone with Akash, he's gone with Bose, and presumably gone with Bose because Bose can play both sides, right? He can play both. Although we've not seen a lot of him on the right, we know that Beke can also probably slot in on the right, but current version of Beke probably too slow and too old to probably play on the right, probably more better fit in center. And then you have Pujari, right? And who Pujari also, is kind of a fix-it player. He's kind of a player who you just take and put anywhere, right? Left, right, right? You also seen Stimash try to play a 3-5-2 and Pujari act as the right centre back there also. That is also something that you've seen, right? I'm not really shocked with Roshan not making it Ishan because BFC hasn't had a great couple of seasons. And even last year when they had, it was a miracle run. And Roshan, keep in mind, has been sent off twice already So Roshan's had kind of a disciplinary problem this year. So I'm not really surprised.
Well, a
Also,
few.
there's a comment from S007J.
Good name.
Just his last comment, I think, string 4.5, 4 to 5 successful pass per, yeah. Um, I I don't think so, to be very honest. I don't think that can be our expectation from this team because for two reasons, okay? Like, if we want to see ourselves developing as a footballing nation, we need to expect more. We need the team to feel pressure to keep doing well, and obviously much better than this. And secondly, I do feel, I mean, I think we discussed it when we were discussing the last time when we were discussing after a game, that we have felt that India's sort of improved also in a lot of areas. They have been doing decently. So, yes, as much as it's going to be a very, very difficult tournament for India, but I mean, I do feel that we should be expecting more than just good play.
True. Well, what about the question from Bharadwaj Reddy? Can we take anything from Australia's win over Bahrain yesterday? They're playing like quite a few teams are playing quite a few friendlies. India is in Qatar, but no friendlies or no preparation matches for them before the big competition.
I think there was a there was a story in the Chinese press where they said China was about to play India before the Asian Cup, but because
Mhm.
ISL was going on, did
Yeah,
make of it what you will. Obviously, it's not like the Chinese media is to be trusted 100%. But yeah, I mean, India not playing. Obviously, that's one thing. I think Bhardwaj Reddy is more to do with the thing where he's saying the margin of victories low. Bhardwaj Reddy, I saw in Australia play against Bangladesh, right, in the first round of in this round of
qualifiers.
World Cup qualifiers, right, and
Yeah.
it was a bloodbath. It was nuts, and I would peg us closer to Bangladesh than we are to Bahrain, right?
Okay.
And no offense, right? Nobody take offense at that. It is what it is, right?
True.
Um, they were physical monsters. Like forget everything, forget anything, right? They were literally bullying the Bangladesh defense and walking it into the goal, right? They were they were putting these crosses into the box. They were uh, what do you say? They were outgunning the Bangladesh defense, right? They were running beyond the fullbacks and they were just cutting it back. It could have been possibly 10, 11,
True.
12, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then again, we are talking of a team which not like just over a year, over a year in the past in 2022 at the World Cup gave Argentina a run for their money in the round of 16. They could have might as well knocked Argentina out if not for some craziness for Emi Martinez in those final moments. Talking about that, yes, that team had the likes of Aaron Moore and Matt Leakey, but those guys are not here at the Asian Cup. But then you have people like Boyle, Craig Goodwin, and
Hmm.
Jackson Irwin. These guys are good, yes, not in the best of form. Like that needs to be said. Australia, most of the players, not they come into the competition, and not the best of their forms in the in the club even leagues that they play. But then again, you're talking about Australia. You're talking about a team that has done traditionally well in AFC ever since they have joined AFC. They have won this competition back in 2015. Also, Syria probably not doing as well as you would have expected Syria to do, or even Uzbekistan. One of the key players is out of the competition. But then again, you're talking about these big teams when you talk of Asian football. So by no means it will be easy. By no means it will be what we are used to seeing with India play of late. It will be different. It will be difficult. But yes, glimmer of hope as an Indian fan. But beyond that, I don't have much.
Hmm. Ishan Bhadwa asked, guys, do you think playing a low block like we did against Saudi Arabia Asian Games will work against us? Against us, not really. For the reasons that I mentioned, they're probably likely to pick you off with headers and aerial battles, right? Even if you go in for a low block, they have people who are expert at running in behind the defense, right? And they're likely to stretch any block that you have. We are talking about a genuine contender for the Asian Cup, right? I'm not even looking at Australia. For us, the key game is Syria, right? And Uzbekistan, it seems like is on a resurgence, right? It's going back to the Uzbekistan that we feared, right, and that we got thrashed against in the early 2010s, right? So, lucky enough, Jamie McLaren isn't there. One less to bully. I don't think so. Like, I don't think I don't think one Jamie McLaren makes any difference, right? So I think Australia going to be difficult. I genuinely don't see us getting anything out of that game. Uzbekistan also looks really difficult. Just to keep it in context, um, Nasaf played Mohan Bagan 2 seasons, 3 seasons ago, and remember what happened. A 19-year-old, not even in the national team, scored a hat trick against some of the highest paid defenders in not just in South Asia but in Asia. Remember, the ISL pays a lot of money,
Yeah.
right? So, and it was a 19-year-old kid from Uzbekistan playing for Nasaf really who essentially spelled the demise for Habas's reign, and he's back, right? Life goes in circles, right?
I
So
am not sure life goes in circles or ISL goes in circles,
more specifically, Mohan
especially
Bagan.
for Habas and
Ha,
HT Mohan Bagan.
that is some love story there,
Yeah.
and
True.
that was obviously bound to fail also because the moment you have I mean they cut off Juan Ferrando's legs by putting Habas Habas on top of him. Like you have like it's like saying you're in the job, but there is a guy on top of
But
you, and he might take your job anytime, right? So
Also
don't.
not taking your job, but I think when you have somebody who has a completely different philosophy of play, you don't know what kind of things are going on behind the scenes, how decisions are being made. You are not we as people are not really aware of all of that, right?
true.
Like at least on like some of us would know, but I'm just saying overall you don't have an exact idea of what all is going behind the scenes, and having somebody with such a different philosophy on top of you, I'm not sure how that really works out, and I'm not sure if that honestly played a role in how Mohan Bagan have played this season.
Hmm. I think again, very interesting to note that Waterloo uh, for a Mohan Bagan manager has been the Asian journey, right? It was for Habas. Failure to qualify from this group has been so for one. And interesting, Sergio Lobera has gone through, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Not
yeah, I mean,
surprised.
yeah, not surprised.
But I think
Obviously, you have Mauricio plus Krishna up front, right?
Yeah.
You have, yeah, I mean, and from what I was speaking to a stakeholder, so yeah, for those of who probably joined in late, we've switched to the ISL. We've covered this. We've covered the national team. We switched to the ISL, and we'll also cover a bit of the IWL also. So yeah, just saying that I was speaking to a stakeholder and he said Odisha spent a crazy lot of money, right? It's also no open secret. I mean, obviously, I don't do transfer news, but I'm pretty aware of what's going on. It's an open secret. They are going behind Mohammad Yasir also with all guns blazing. And the Hugo Bumu link, I honestly don't know. For example, Yasir link I know is very much real, right? The Bumu link we don't know, but if you looked at Bumu in the last days of Juan Ferrando reign, he was looking as worn down as the senior, right? The senior always looked like he was always biting his shirt and whatnot. But like Bumu's fall from grace has been quite something also.
Yes, I agree.
So I mean, Odisha, yes, they've done it, but apparently they've had to really open their wallets to do so also. And but kudos to the management for
Yeah.
having that sort of ambition and going for it nonetheless.
They're spending it the right way
Yeah,
because
spending the
it's not a new thing. Those guys spending, they have spent in the past as well, but probably this time there is some sort of a direction. There's some sort of yes, there is ambition, but that ambition is now backed by right kind of investment as well. New investors landed for Hyderabad FC. Are people getting paid finally?
From what we know, I think some people have got a couple of months' salary. It's just coming, right? But we don't know if new investors. On the topic of new investors, really difficult to say if there's new investor or not because new investors been lined up for a long time. But the problem is the regulatory thing is so muddled up, right? Firstly, we're hearing that new management also wants to be a part of, like, old management wants to be a part of the new management, right? So and there's always the big question mark is of the outstanding debt that they have to existing. You know that it's not just this season's players or Manolo Marquez. We know Manolo has taken HFC to the disciplinary committee. It's also apparently Ogbeche hasn't been paid, right? So it's multiple seasons cadet. So we don't know. And trust me, I was also like we're also covering Indian football when the transition from Pune City to Hyderabad FC happened, right? That also required a lot of regulatory, unfucking is if that is a word, right? That untangling, if that is the right word, right? So
We're coining new terms here.
yeah, untangling, right? So yeah, I would not. I would say it's much more difficult than we think it is to do this right now, right? It's going to be a long process, not going to be an overnight process. Even if a new investor comes in, sometimes takes a year, right?
True.
So hold on. Like the only question is how does the rest of the season play out for HFC because you have three foreigners who already packed their bags and gone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy. You've had the so-called coach who came in, Connor Nestor, publicly on Twitter announcing his departure. You had a friend of the pod uh, and like ex-HFC analyst Slok, who's departed. We've heard that uh, the sporting director Appu Jose is also on the way out, right? Uh, so all of this is is public knowledge. We're not putting out anything that already isn't out there. So mass exodus there. How do they get to the end of the season is and does do AFF or FSDL take more stringent action against them? That is a big question.
That's right. Hyderabad FC left. But I think we should move on because we've got
Yeah.
quite some time.
Yes.
There's IWL also
How do
happening.
we fix the height
Yeah.
mismatch against us? I think Ishan Bhardwaj probably have to start feeding something to the kids who are being born now to fix this. This is the 2025 year fix. This is not nothing's going to happen.
And to
Right?
be very honest, Ishan, I'm not sure height mismatch is that much of a problem
You can't fight
if you
yeah,
can
you can't
find a way with your
yeah.
play.
Yeah, you can't have that fight with the US, right? That's a wrong fight to pick with the Australians, right?
Yeah.
right? Do what the Japanese do. Fight on your own terms, right? Yeah,
That's exactly what I had in my head when I said if you can find a way through your game,
yeah.
I don't think height really matters like that.
Uh,
Yeah,
for for
height ka
for
fight zyada. That's what we are, aren't we?
for all we know, we might see Ilko Shatori back with NUFC. I don't think so because Juan Pedro Banales just signed a extension at Northeast United. It's been announced also. So we know that the Rafa Benitez lookalike is there for at least a year. He is a Rafa Benitez lookalike. I will share the screen shortly. You guys continue while I search for a
Oh
Benali.
God,
God.
you're so invested in it.
I'm too invested in the joke, obviously, right? Uh,
Well, Rafa Benitez is a lookout. But what about IWL? Like, I remember, I think Orko, you were the one who put out that tweet where Gokulam finally lost a match.
Yeah, yeah,
hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
Finally, something happened.
There is
Odisha
something.
making some
It is
good,
nice.
good progress there.
I mean, Odisha had to finally do it, right? They've again, like I said, they've gone out and got the glitterati of the what do you say, IWL, right?
And
They've got the Indian players, they've got Indu, right?
yeah, yeah, exact. And I think that that's made a lot of difference, especially because it's the way they've been able to link the midfield and the forward line because of Hindu. I think it's been great because of that, and it was so.
Oh God, Mr. Obsessed.
I mean, you look at the side profile, it is
Yeah, yeah. I am with you on this one.
he is a Benitez,
Yeah.
like
I
lookalike.
was just saying कि,
Asta Benitez Mila Northeast.
Randeep was here, right? Speaking about the IWR overall, and he was so careful about not jinxing because he did not want to say that Odisha would win or anything. He was
So
so
let's
careful to not jinx, and I
let's
think
let's
he was.
let's jinx it. Let's jinx it. Odisha are winning this. IWL. No, I'm kidding. I'm not jinxing it. Odisha do seem like
He's
the
going to
favorite.
call you after this.
Yeah, he's gonna call me after. He's going to pull a Liam Neeson. I will call you and I will find you. Right. But Odisha look like they're in the pole position, but don't rule out kickstart. I'll say don't rule out kickstart at
Yeah,
all because we saw them playing against Hobbs and they had a pretty comfortable victory here. Right.
yeah.
So yeah. I would be surprised if we hold Australia till 62 minutes for. Yeah, I think PB talks. If, for example, if the 10 people get into our box, right? Sunil Chetri playing on the edge of our box, and I think with Stimatch also inside that box, it's a possibility, right? That is the only way this happens. PB talks, right? Because I don't see any other way where this happens. Then we tire out an Aussie hammer is hoping it doesn't happen. Like I said, if if you bet on this in India holding Australia till 0-0, you are going to be a very rich man, PB talks, if it does happen, right?
No, I
So
think he's saying that it will be 0-0 till 60-65 minutes,
yeah,
after which
so I'm saying
Australia would
even
go
if he
into.
bets on it being 0-0 till 60-65 minutes, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if it comes true and if he bets on it, he's going to make a
yeah, yeah, I
lot of money
agree.
on
I don't
this.
think anybody's predicting it correctly.
Mohan Bagan management, I'm going to stop you right there. What management? What management? There is there is no semblance of any management that is
Management.
happening. Mohan Bagan mismanagement. Yes. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Everything
Yeah.
else is right.
Everything else is right. Right. Oh God. Will the Moneybag FC appoint one? Uno reverse. Uh,
Playing Uno and not football.
uh, could be. Could be. Anything. Right? Do you see Srinidhi Deccan FC? Up, they are royally shitting the bed. Mohammedan is 7 points clear. So surprised, but remember, guys, it's Mohammedan and Mohammedan pulling a Mohammedan. Don't rule it out, also, right?
Yes.
Right? Them thinking that our striker just scored 9. And from what we are hearing, that both the Indian strikers firing in the I League uh, might be in demand in the ISL. Both David from Mohammedan and Rinzuala from Aizol might be in demand in the ISL. Obviously, to just go and sit on the bench and play play 80 minutes at the end, 80 cumulative minutes, that is at the end of the season, right? But I really thought before season was Srinidhi, but Mohammed had come out strong, and that is all due kudos to Andre, right? And again, if you think Mohan Bagan's the only one who follows cycle, Mohammedan fired the coach who got them second. Then they went down to 8th. Then they rehired the guy, and now they are on top again. So
Indian football ruling.
Calcutta must be a really wonderful place to just
You should be knowing it better.
Yes.
to watch in football, right? I mean, I'm not per se from there. I'm only. But
Okay,
yeah,
we've all heard it.
uh, Apu is already out. Yes, he is. He's just helping them transition. He being and kudos to Apu. From what we are hearing from inside the club, he's trying to manage the crisis, and he's trying to get people. He's taking responsibility. He's trying to do a lot of good there, even though he's technically not in his role, but he's assumed some responsibility, and I think Indian football needs more Apu horses, more upright folks. Like, uh, yeah, we also look very vulnerable starting few minutes each half. Yeah, just ask Amrinder.
Nice.
I mean, if anybody watched that game, right? Everybody's in that game thinking, we have to come out strong, and we just 1-0 behind to Qatar, and we can do it. And then
Amrinder be like,
What is this conversation? I was not part of.
I'm not part of this conversation. Nobody told me about this. But I saw a lot of people saying to scapegoat Amrinder is too bad, and I agree. It's not, because he's not been given a sustained run of games in the national team, right? This happened the last time also he played. I think I remember that game in matches early days against Tajikistan where we lost 5-2. Completely.
But then again,
exactly. I mean, I'm sorry, Amrinder has been playing.
Yeah, but that's a life of a goalkeeper. You don't get a string of matches.
Way too long.
You don't get a string of matches. You're a goalkeeper.
Yeah, just because you don't get a chance in the national team does not mean every time you get a chance, you do something that you don't get a chance again.
That is no excuse. Come on.
But like, let me flip the question, right? There are people who've been in the squad for, let's say, 30 games, 40 games, right? They've not done a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've not really kicked on, and you haven't really seen that they've played to whatever potential you think they played. Is it or is it not fair that fresh blood gets a chance? And I understand international football has very little margin for error. That's really the problem here, right?
No, we are all for having fresh people.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is the position. Like, he's a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers get chances very less. Like, it comes at a premium. So whenever it comes your way, you have to grab it. It goes without saying. You take someone like Gurpreet. Gurpreet was warming the national team bench for a very long time. Right? If I'm not wrong, he was part of the squad in 2011 as well. Like, never played a single game when Subrata was there. But when he got the chance, he proved his worth, and then that's the reason he's where he is today. It's not because he's probably the best goalkeeper in the country. Might not be the case. Like, I think he's not, for personal opinion. But when the national team comes into the picture, it is always Gurpreet, because he's performed for the national team and he deserves to be there.
All right, yeah, okay. Given, I take all your points, right? Sir, little talk about I-League fixing. No, I absolutely not. Absolutely not. But do go to. I posted about this a few days ago. I posted cryptically about this, and then some other people were more cryptic on my post. Right? They posted the lyrics to Coldplay's "Fix You." Like what?
Well, that's good banter, dude. Come on.
But that's excellent. Breadcrumbing. That's excellent breadcrumbing. Just leaving the trail like that, right? समझदार को समझ में आ जाएगा. होशियार Someone.
Abhi,
Sorry.
abhi, you're on mute.
Yeah.
हाँ, sorry, I was saying और को the मुहावरा is समझदार को इशारा काफी है.
Taragafi. Yes. Uh,
बना दिया उन्होंने खुद का कुछ.
Habas will destroy the Anwar and Sahal future by his style of play. Let's see. Let's see how long Habas lasts, right? And then who comes back, right? Maybe who's managed this team in the past? Teddy Sheringham, right? I know
Yeah,
Ashley Westwood,
Ashley
right?
Westwood.
Gone, or I think you've gone way behind.
Way bad, yeah.
Yeah,
Orko bro, spill some beans, man. Why a few players got? There aren't a few players, bro. There are 26 only. 26 standard 26 players. Yeah. I think he was talking about my tweet of the I League
Yes.
2. But if you follow this discussion, you kind of know who I think the laggards are. And where Sandeep got kidnapped. Yes, this is the kidnapping of love. Our man, ever since he's married, he's been off the grid a bit.
Orko.
yeah, come on.
No, I'm not blaming Mrs. Menon. I'm just saying that
You're blaming Mr. Menon.
I'm blaming Mr. Menon for not making time for his friends and Indian football since right.
He's
Yeah,
made more time than me probably.
yeah. We need a centre
Yeah,
back partnership of
he's just busy with family and stuff.
Mahesh. Yeah, this is perfect, right? So, like Indian football could have come with any innovation prior to the Asian Cup. What do they say? We are bringing in Trevor Sinclair. I'm like, holy shit! Is he going to play defense? I mean, I mean, that was just nuts. Like sort of nutty thing that happens in Indian football, right? AFF Under 17 Youth League और tournament, ये भगवान और कल्याण जी ही जाने. ये तो हम हमें तो पता नहीं है. बताएं, but apparently it's underway. It's underway. I know for a fact that in some zones it's already started. For example, I think United and East Bengal, United Nawab Bhattacharya's United, that is the old United SC, and East Bengal had this thing. Any talk on Kalinga Super Cup? Yeah,
Why
I mean,
do they have a competition at this time?
yeah, why exactly? Exactly.
Yeah.
And they change the rules
Interesting.
so that all 6 foreigners can play. They are saying there are not enough Indians. 26 लोग चले गए तो
और कोई है ही नहीं.
और कोई है ही नहीं. Right. So they said, let's. What is our fix for the Super Cup? You put in 2 more foreigners in the starting 11. So
खिला दो बस.
it's incredible. What's if you were somebody who were not associated Indian football and you followed the handle on a regular basis, you'd laugh your ass off. You'd be laughing every day, right? You'd be like, this is some like out of context. Like Indian football handle is out of context. Indian football,
Yeah, 100%.
You don't need another account.
Nice.
right? Some thoughts on Shaji. I have no thoughts. I don't think about Shaji only. Right?
You should be the one thinking about
Okay. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Apparently Indian football did not send a legal counsel to fight that case. So make of that what you will. Right? Do you see us bagging a draw? Yeah, honestly, I just want to come to this. I think if the team think tank is smart enough, I would say they'd be going full throttle against Syria, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is also, if I'm not mistaken, Syria is the last game, right? So what happens prior to that is very important, right? Uzbekistan getting a draw, mate.
No,
Very
man.
difficult.
No,
I
I
didn't
don't
see
see
that.
that happening.
Like
Yeah.
I saw Navbor play. Navbor, yeah, it made of
Totally.
flawless.
Nabor were crazy
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I mean, and lastly, your predictions for full-time score on all match Asian Cup.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to take a stab at this because I might be
Yeah.
termed.
No. I don't know. A scoreline,
और
like
तो तुम्हें
without
anti-national बुलाएंगे लोग.
without a scoreline prediction, without at least having the starting 11 is just like a very big shot in the dark.
We had a starting 11 discussion, right? But
Yeah.
scoreline prediction for me, it's It's a loss, and a draw against Syria. Probably that's our best case result, or maybe even a 1-0. We sneak a 1-0 win also against Syria. It has to be a smash and grab like we did against Kuwait, and or maybe a game that kind of game we play against Iraq, where we so in Indian football essentially we'll try and go gung ho. Unlike Constant, I think Stimac keeps those 5-10 minutes in a periods in a game where he, you know, right. What if we draw with Australia? Was ball? I never agreed to this, right? I don't know where this I have not agreed to this, right?
But do you want
Orko
to
is
know?
stumped. Orko
Yeah.
cannot complete his sentence at this point.
If we draw with
Ball.
Australia, I'll be the happiest guy. I'll be the happiest guy if we draw with Australia, but
But will you be happy enough to go bald?
no, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that chance, right? What if Sanjay Singan becomes Prime Maldini during that game? Who knows, right?
Prime Maldini. There's a
Maldini,
better chance
yeah.
of him becoming a prime minister.
Possibly no, right? With the elections around the corner, let's not make those jokes, right? Right. So I am 20 years old. We've been discussing PR 25. Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
in my case, make it 30 plus, right? So
We'll continue discussing another 25 years.
yeah.
Yes. You'll be 50.
AFF rejected due to ISL. Like I said, do not trust the Chinese media and what they say blindly.
But he goes on to say it's a wise call, like which I agree.
This called a wise call. I mean, Indian football's old tricks is obviously to avoid playing matches before the tournament to avoid revealing the true strength of the team. And seems like old management and new management have some agreement at least in the course of action prior to
Hey, but the
seeing
old
that-
management, India played China before Asian Cup. Okay,
they did.
that's an
It
away
was-
match.
Yeah, away match 0-0. Yeah, very surprised. Yeah, I remember. Argentina and Kerala out of context injury
Because
time. This
Mallus are crazy.
no need. No need. Right. फुटबॉल से पेट नहीं भरता. गुड नाइट. हाँ, गुड नाइट. वही बोल रहे हैं.
I think that's a good note to end the show on.
Yeah.
On that note.
Yeah, but this is a good better note. When will Mr. Menon be released? We don't know.
We'll send this comment to Mr. Menon and then get you a response.
If he's free from his marital obligations,
Yeah.
for marital and societal obligations, right? Right.
वो मार देगा तुझे पक्का.
Such simple reply, guys. Simple reply. Bhardwaj Reddy. We'll send it to him if he is free enough. We'll ask him to respond to you on Twitter.
Yeah. We also played a closed door
played
friendly
Jordan.
last time around, right? Yeah, supposedly.
No,
But
we played Jordan before the Asian Cup.
But because it's closed doors, we don't know.
उसके पीछे क्या क्या हुआ हमें पता
हाँ,
नहीं.
मतलब दरवाजा खुला था, दरवाजे पे कौन सा लॉक लगा था, वो सब पता नहीं है.
People are shocked that Sandeep is married. Oh my god.
Crush of hundreds. कौन है भाई?
उसे तो बता दो. उसे भी नहीं पता था.
But India is playing what do you say, intra squad friendly. They put it out very nicely in one of the list. They said they're supposed to play an intra squad friendly, so I can expect कि हमारे ईशान and राहुल बाबू दो गोल मार के बोलेंगे चलो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ खेलते हैं. ठीक है. So Sharad, one of the most pragmatic and one of the most informed people in the Kerala circle, he has hit the nail on the head. Absolute head. He is saying KFA can't even stream KPL. Absolutely. Right? Do a press conference with Sandeep. Let's reverse roles. वैसे भी हम ही सवाल पूछते हैं.
He is a PM dude. He doesn't have time for press conferences. He only does Man Ki Baat.
Today, Eagosty match arranged intra-squad friendly. We heard that Trevor Sinclair was upfront, right? And उन्होंने ये भी पोस्ट किया कि मिरेकल वर्कर बोरा मिलिटोनोविच. मैं बोलता कौन सा मिरेकल भाई? ये तो मिरेकल भी नहीं, ये तो जीसस क्राइस्ट का ही काम हो सकता है. मतलब वही आगे कुछ कर सकते हैं अभी तो, right? Any new projects for injury cross? hashtag free Sandeep, यही हमारा एक ही project है. Only one project we have अभी के लिए.
Sandeep
But
is going to.
movement है.
but since everybody asked, it's a good note to end on. We are trying to get more minnows, so-called non-I League ISL people on this thing. We've had people like Sid Deka from Guwahati City FC. We want more people. So if you run a football club or an academy, and we'd love to hear from you and your challenges and what's happening, right? Um and do let us know. For example, we're always looking for news stories, right? Especially from footballing hotbeds and non-footballing hotbeds also. Right? There are obviously challenges for get Neeraj of Tektro. From what I understand, he has his own podcast. But sure, should he agree to, we will get Tektro. And you have to be very specific because apparently there are so many Tektros. So to be very specific as to which Tektro. But I know which Tektro you're talking about. Tektro Lucknow.
Surely not Neeraj Chopra.
Yeah, no, but if he came on this pod, then this pod would break, right? Like it would just like explode.
Or
Yeah,
he would break.
like no, but then Sandeep will come back. But let us know. We've had Prad from Dempo, we've had Sid Deka. We're looking for more folks, right? We might have an IWL club coming on the podcast soon, guys. Abrish was just trying to sort that out. And I might as well say we might have Hops FC, right?
Yeah.
One of the few North Indian clubs left in any pyramid in any in Indian football. So we might have Hops FC on the pod, and it's interesting because Hops FC people don't know it, but Hops FC is an iteration of Alakpura FC, right? So this is almost a 2-decade-old project, and kudos. Not a lot of projects in Indian football run for 2 projects. Alakpura FC formed 2006 in a new avatar as Hops FC for the last 5-6 years. Get Richard Hood on, man. We try, right? But Richard Hood is a mysterious man. Now he just posts memes on Insta. That's his new. That's his new.
That's his MO.
Yeah, he's like a child who's just newly discovered in Insta, right? Yeah, but these are great memes. Like they entertain me every single time. Richard only 10 years get 10 days speak काफी नहीं है. He could probably, that man can probably speak football the most. Again, we reiterate, between Prad and Richard, we're lucky to know probably the 2 most biggest nerds of Indian football and the biggest info. Like when they come on, we just shut up and listen. Like they're incredible people. So Richie, if you're seeing this, please please watch it, right? So yeah, so please come back. And Deepak Tangri catering service pata nahi hai. Prad has become Navjot. Prad Paji, and good luck to our friend for the I League 2 campaign. We can't wait to see Dempo in the I League, but given how they shat the bed in I League 3, and Prad, I'm really sorry. Prad, I'm really sorry, but your team was utter crap in I League 3, and I know that he's the one guy in Indian football who will not mind me saying this. Any other guy would be like, how dare you, and probably block my number. But they went really great in the I League 3. But yeah, we wish them all the best. And guys, good talk. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shan. Thank you, S007 Bond का दूसरा नाम, and Bhardwaj Reddy and Shreyam Das and everybody who's joined. And JS, yes, we'll hope to see you there also.
Yeah.
Right? Dempo versus Sudeva. I'll be cheering for my childhood club, which are the Eagles, of course. And on that note, best of luck for Eagles. Go Eagles. Go injury time. Go Mr. Menon with his marriage. Right? Okay.
Stop it, Arpa. Guys.
Okay.
Subscribe, like, share, and comment.
Love, and make it worth our time, guys. Good night.
That was
Good
our
night.
right to make